All right, where were we? Let's take a look. Hold regular one-on-ones. This one is basically similar to make time for people, which I believe is that one of, I believe was one of them. I feel like I was yeah, make time for people is one of them. So make time for it. Show that you believe they are your most important asset, as in, you know, people, relationships with the people you're close to. Doesn't have to just be your subordinates or business partners or whatever, or teammates. Also a form of prevention against preventive also a form of prevention against differences in perception and misunderstandings. Similar to the parent who spent all of their time to provide food, shelter, clothing, etc. for their child, but their child has the feeling that you're never around. So you can do everything, you can feel like you're doing everything for your team, but if they feel like you're never present, then they won't really feel your concern for them, for example. So you can talk. So if you make time for it to understand what their perspective is, then you can avoid the eventual buildup and explosion if that happens. The self-equivalent, so the individual equivalent, is planning goals. Sorry, my pen was really running out of ink here. So planning goals consciously, writing things down so you can face your thoughts and flesh out feelings and meditative states, time with your own thoughts. So basically, if you don't take time with yourself, then you're going to have misunderstandings with yourself where, for example, maybe some of your actions don't match your priorities or values if you're always living reactively. For example, if you get if you're just scrolling on social media, this is a good example. Social media is such an easy example because it's easy to understand. If you're just scrolling on social media and you see something and you go, that's genius, or that's stupid, and get angry, maybe if you were to stop and think about it with yourself and go, is this worth getting angry at? You would realize that your reactions don't match your values, which is that it's not worth getting angry with it. That's the easy example. Obviously, it gets deeper than that, but a lot of the time we just live with these like vague feelings that just pull us, and we just naturally take actions, and then we don't really stop and go, are there any conflicts here with myself? Do I want to flesh out the differences? For another example is, maybe you're working towards a 6-figure job and a big house, and that's just your goal. Like, you don't have concrete plans for what you're going to be doing day to day, what you're going to be doing on your weekends, what you're going to be doing at your job, what sacrifices you're going to be making to get it faster, what sacrifices you aren't willing to make to get it faster, and so on, to like clarify why you want it, what you actually benefit from getting it, why that will give you everything you want, and so that, you know, you won't feel like if you just have it as this general goal that you feel you're supposed to follow, then when you get it and it doesn't give you everything you desired, then you're gonna feel like, okay, well, I just don't have enough. Guess I need to make more money, or something like that. Because you assumed that was the source, that was going to be the provider of the solutions to your problems, alone, on its own. So if you still have a feeling that you have problems that aren't solved by it, then it means you don't have enough of that. Which gets back to the get good. So let's say you are let me think of a different example for this. I use card games because that's where my experience is. So let's say you're playing a deck and you're not losing. You're not winning enough. You're just losing a lot of games. Let's say you have like a 25% win rate. Now, and you play the deck over and over again, and the idea is you just need to get good. Maybe not. Maybe you should start by going, why am I playing this deck? Why am I running these cards in this deck? Why do I need this card? This deck building process. Maybe I should switch decks. Maybe I should switch cards in this deck. And you combine that with maybe I should change how I'm playing the game. Maybe I should be making different choices in the game as well. So, sometimes you're just playing the wrong deck. Sometimes you can improve your deck. So, a lot of the time when you don't take the time with yourself to analyze these discrepancies, which I don't take much time with myself, no. But I'm just saying, observably, if I were to make this statement, you'll probably agree. When you don't take the time to make these kinds of analysis and observations, then it's really just like playing whatever deck you queued up with over and over again and not winning. And when you don't win, you're like, I guess I just need to play better. In other words, if you get a raise and you're still not happy, guess you need more raises. Maybe there are things outside of your income that are causing your lack of fulfillment. Usually it's going to be who you have relationships with, friendships, siblings, parents, etc. And also how well they're maintained. Okay. During one-on-ones, commit to doing less than 50% of the talking. And ideally it should be over 30 minutes. And make time for development planning. So what you expect, planning for the future. Now 30 minutes is probably a bit much if you're doing it with yourself. Probably make it more frequent and do like 5 to 10 minutes at a time, at most. But again, I'm just extrapolating. I'm just reading these leadership ideas and extrapolating for the individual. Okay. Now, since the last one was commit to doing less than 50% of the talking, that is going to be relevant because the next one is allow others to be smart. Do you feel the need to be the smartest in the room, or do you make everyone else feel smarter? Or, well, actually, it's do you make everyone smarter? Just because you have the right answer doesn't mean you should jump out with the right answer. Allow them to say their wrong suggestions and point out a problem with it. Unless they ask for the answer and they've tried and need the answer. Or negotiate, because maybe your right answer has room for blind spots. Just a direction or an idea. Okay. Next. Create vision. The why. Identify the wildly important goals to stay on track and focus on priorities. If you have the wildly important goals, then then when new things come up, this is related to know when to say no. So let's say you have a new idea and then you go, does this interfere with my ability to pursue the wildly important goals? So basically the most important things that are top priority, that if other things would interfere with it, then they're not worth doing. Just cut them out. Identify the wildly important goals. Now, if other things are just slightly slowed down your wildly important goals, but with sufficient benefit, for example, say, to make your employees happier, better paid, whatever, then fine. It is fine. You have to have the top priorities that you're comparing against. Doesn't mean you have to straight up cut out everything that doesn't help achieve your wildly important goals, but you have to, when you have a main quest and a side quest comes up, you can decide whether or not to do the side quest. Whereas if you don't have a main quest, then you'll just do every side quest, because what else would you do? And the main quest doesn't have to be the main storyline. It can be your main priority. Maybe instead of the main quest, your goal is to maximize your stats, maximize your damage, maximize your tankiness, get the set of items that will make you finish your build. If that's your primary goal, and then you can do the main storyline after, fine. That's your wildly important goal. The main storyline doesn't have to be the main campaign. In other words, grow the business as big as possible, or whatever. You can set your own, but you do without them, then you'll follow every side quest. Align your actions with those goals. Align your decisions with those goals, with the idea that those are your top priorities. Ensure your systems align and support them. Right. Again, this goes back to for incentives, for example. Are your employees incentivized to follow your wildly important goals? For example, let's say you want to lose weight, but you set up a diet that is leaves you feeling hungry all the time, feeling miserable all the time, and you're constantly wanting to eat more, and your body is begging for more food. Well, it's probably not going to work out very well for your wildly important goal. Most of these diets fail. So in this case, you are the leader and your body is the employee, and your wildly important goal is losing weight. So if you have to do it in a way that also incentivizes your body to lose weight. Your body should feel good in the process, or else it's not going to want to do it. And you'll have to basically rule with an iron fist along your plan, and eventually it's not going to work out. Your relationship will break down, they'll quit the job. Or you'll quit as the leader, and then the business collapses. Another example is back in Stephen Covey's book, which was win-win situations. He talks about a company who invites him to do a teamwork speech to get the people to work together, saying that we do all sorts of leadership, all sorts of teamwork talks. We always promote teamwork. And then Stephen was like, do your systems actually promote teamwork? And they say, yeah, I mean, every single time we have a meeting, we talk about teamwork. If we work together, everybody gets more. And then Stephen was like, okay, but I want to take a look. And they were annoyed because they wanted him to just convince the people to work together. So he went in and saw a poster that showed a race. The first manager to reach this milestone will get a vacation. Does that promote teamwork? No, it doesn't. It incentivizes individuals to get ahead of others, which also means that you don't want others to do well, because the rewards are geared to the individual. If you want teamwork, then you have to incentivize such that if they work together and succeed, everybody gets rewarded. If they don't work together and don't succeed, then nobody gets rewarded. This is how you incentivize teamwork. So they changed the incentive system, and then it worked. So ensure that your systems align and support your wildly important goals. Deliver the right results. The results that align with your wildly important goals. For example, if your goal is to plant 1 million trees, and you measure, you promote, with your team, you measure your success by, and you talk about your metrics with how much money you guys made, well, you you get the idea. Those goals should be your metrics for your progress, success, goals, etc. Calibrate wins. I'm not actually sure what this means. I don't remember. Not sure. Okay. Make high value decisions. So focus your attention on the decisions that will make the largest benefit towards these goals. Lead through change. Wait. Okay. When leading change, are you calm, confident, and focused, or anxious, threatened, and scattered? So during times of change, you have to lead through it by inspiring confidence. In other words, you have to put space between stimulus and response. Get better. You have to constantly evaluate, reevaluate, and then realize how to get better. Okay, so these are all individual points, and these are not sub-points of create vision and wildly important goals. Okay, so calibrate wins. I don't remember what this was. I think it has to do with actually making your team feel like they won when the company wins or something. I'm not sure. Make high value decisions, which is to focus on the changes that will make most beneficial impact. For example, maybe you should focus on, is this the right deck, instead of will trading one copy of Raiding Party for Candlehearth Brawler make that much difference. It's like, focus on high value decisions. So lead through change. So when there is change, are you setting an example that will get the job done if others follow it? And yeah, okay, so these are all of the notes I have on management mess to leadership success. 30 challenges to, well, to get better, I guess. Now, they actually had a lot more, but they trimmed it down to 30, and they made a bunch of cards, and then he wrote a book, basically one for, and dedicated each chapter to one card, including examples of his personal experience and how he failed at these completely before. He used the worst examples, well, some of them, and he actually had to remove some of his bad examples because his editor, not editor, but his friend / proofreader who helped him, was basically like, this book is not a replacement for your confession hall at church. you gotta control it and make it still a book. So that was funny. But I did leave out some of the challenges. I focused primarily on the ones that are not just about leadership. There are a few of them that are a bit more leadership specific, for being in charge of teams, that I couldn't really extrapolate for. But primarily I took the ones that you can use on an individual level. Anyways, that's going to be it for me today. And I'll see you guys next time.